Hello, thank you all for taking the time to be here to listen to me and all the other amazing candidates here today. For those of you who don't know, my name is Tristen Rabor, and I serve as a graphic designer on this year's board alongside my amazing co-Connor. I'm a current junior double majoring in biology and IMDS on the pre-med track. So the last time I was up here, I was hoping to become one of FOSS's co-graphic designers, but today as I stand up here again, I'm hoping to become FOSS's president. I've gained so much experience serving as one of our GDs, and I'm more than pleased with the work the media team has done this year. We put so much into our content and have received an overwhelming amount of recognition from board and general body. That's what made being in this position so fulfilling and gratifying. I came on the board eager to see my campaign ideas come to fruition, even those that weren't necessarily for graphic designers. From projects like FOSSA Mini Mike, B6 Mike Dub, New General Body Merch, and B6 jerseys, our Pokemon commercial, and FOSSA Sony Angels, none of these ideas would have even left my brain if it weren't for all the encouragement from everyone. So taking a page from Madam President's book, I reflected on where I started versus where I am. First, I'm confident that I have grown exponentially from being someone who is uncertain and had little confidence in showcasing her abilities to a young woman who's confident enough to get up here and run for president. But this change didn't happen overnight, and it didn't just happen from my work alone. So here comes my rejection story. I joined FOSSA alone, went to events alone, joined B6 volleyball alone. I did many things in FOSSA alone until I met my friends, and then I started doing these things with them. When it came time to apply for interning, I applied and was rejected. But after not being selected to be an intern last year, I was discouraged, embarrassed, and uncertain. It was said that nobody really saw me at events without my friends. So after learning this, my mind began to race as I overthought if people even saw my efforts in the fall, my abilities, let alone me. I wanted to be a G for FOSSA, but I was unsure if people had any confidence in me at all. In my perspective, I knew what I was capable of, but it seemed like it wasn't enough for others to see. Nonetheless, I decided to put myself out there again and act a facade to show myself, my personality, and to prove to others that what I have to offer. Long story short, this was the best decision I made, and it paid off. As I stood up here a year ago, I remember my heart pounding out of my chest because of all the discouraging things I once told myself for preparation for rejection. But I showcased my work and spoke from my heart, and to my surprise, I was trusted enough and seen enough to be elected. After being elected, I was ready to bring my new ideas to board, but after doing so, so did comments of being more realistic. Although this is important to keep in mind, I was once again put in a position of proving myself. About a few weeks ago, I was telling Ate Ina about how I feel like I'm constantly being put in this position, to which she responded to saying, "But when did we as women not have to?" I'm lucky enough to have been brought up in a family in which success and leadership were never bound to just men. This was instilled in me at a very young age, to which my Lola can attest to.
I remember when Tristen was 6 years old, I was driving her to her kindergarten class, and I asked her, "Tristen, what do you want to be when you grow up?" She said, "I want to be the boss." I said, "What do you mean by that?" She said, "Lola, I want to be in charge." And I said to myself, my oh my.
So, although my vocabulary at the time could only describe a more arrogant description of what being a leader means, I always knew this is what I wanted. I was surrounded by profound female role models, ranging from engineers, doctors, nurses, and the two women I look up to the most, my older sister Taylor and my mom. My Auntie Taylor was diagnosed with multiple forms of apraxia when she was just a few months old, so life has never been easy for her. She is constantly working 100 times harder than you and me to communicate her feelings, her wants, and her needs. Although life and daily tasks do not come easy for her, she lives every day with the biggest smile on her face. My Ate is the friendliest, most affectionate, and most joyful person I know. And this is what I admire about her, because despite her circumstances, she lives every day to the fullest, enjoying the simplest things like riding the bus, going to her day program, and even when I paint her nails or do her hair. When I see my Ate's radiant smile, I think of my mom. From upholstering our curtains and couches, to cooking and baking, to always volunteering herself as homeroom mom and carpool mom, my mom did it all and more. Pouring all of herself into everything she did, this is how I remember her. In 2008, my mom was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer, which, as many know, is fatal in such late stages. Through her battle, she was resilient. She prayed and fought back with everything she had in her, but cancer is so
been practicing these skills all my life after she passed and have been continuing to develop them throughout my time in college. It is because of the lessons that I've learned from my mom and my sister and my friends and family that I am confident in my leadership skills. However, I know there is much more I can learn and so much more I can contribute. If elected as president, I hope to build a strong foundation for the future of FASA. A team works best together when everyone is on the same page and is willing to put in effort. I would like to focus my time as president making sure that our board works together as a well-oiled machine. An important factor that being a co taught me is the importance of complementing each other in working styles. I will be diligent in paying close attention to co-positions. This year, Cara and I worked side by side and made sure to distribute work equally and efficiently. We would also help each other out if needed, whether it be for advice, writing captions, color scheme choices, writing captions, what font to use, writing captions. My point is, I learned that a good co is always someone you can rely on. Though I have many more ideas on ways to improve FASA, I think I'm running out of time, so lastly, if I'm elected president, I would like to emphasize support on board. I want it to be known that without a doubt, board members are supported in all aspects of their lives. Working so close with people, personal issues are bound to bleed through to the professional side, and in board, supporting one another and knowing you have people that do contribute so much to one's love for an org. Working together, advocating for each other, and supporting one another is all a part about being a team player. Being a part of various sports teams like track and volleyball all throughout high school and college, I have recognized the importance of what it means to be a team player. I found the significance of putting my all in on and off the court. Screaming my head off during games always came easy to me, and that proves that I'm Filipino, so thank you. Understanding the extent of my own abilities allowed me to easily step aside and happily support those who were capable. So just as I act on a sports team, this is the exact same mentality that aided me while serving on board. As president, it is just as important to be a team player as it is to oversee the work of board. Regardless of who you vote for today, know that I will continue to be the same person in FASA. Although not on the court, I will be screaming my head off on the sidelines. Thank you.